Why does the traditional estate plan fail most families today? And what does the modern approach look like? Well, here to talk with us about that is Harry Margolis. He's the author of Get Your Ducks in a Row. Harry, welcome.
Good to see you, Bob. Welcome back from Las Vegas.
Thank you. Welcome back from Milwaukee and Chicago to you.
Thank you. We've
So
been
we
traveling.
live in a world, right? We live in a world where modern families are no longer sort of like the family of the 1950s or 1960s. We're dealing with lots of different types of families today. So where to begin?
Well, I think just recognition that the traditional family of two parents, two perfect kids, or back then it was probably more like four perfect kids. To some extent, maybe it was never the reality for a lot of people, but it's less and less the reality. There are more people who never get partnered. There are more people who get divorced or have children with different partners. So things are a lot more complicated, and which means people have to do their estate plan. It's more important that people do their own estate planning and that they review it a bit more often whenever there's a change in circumstances. And the standard thing where you just give everything to your spouse and then everything gets split among your children, probably isn't going to work, or in a lot of these cases isn't going to work, because you may not want everything to go to your spouse if you have kids from another relationship or not children of that spouse. So things can get complicated. And the plan that the state has for you is based on for the most part, is based on the old traditional family. So it does give most everything to your spouse if you die married, and it divides everything among your. I mean, in some ways it may be better, because often if you have kids, or the states are rewriting some of these what are called testamentary rules, that they may give a portion to your spouse and a portion to your kids, even if you don't have a will. But the more complicated things are, the more you have to think it through. The more the two partners, if there are two partners, have to talk about what they would want, and the more you have to put something in place to make sure that there aren't changes. And even if you are in a traditional two-parent, two-kid, or whatever number of kid family, after you die, your spouse may get remarried or may get into another relationship. And so you still may want to make provisions to protect your children, just in case that happens.
Yeah. So when you think about like how families have evolved, we have same-sex couples, perhaps blended families. Are there
Yep.
things that, if you had to create a checklist, what might that look like?
Well, mostly I think people need to think about it and talk about it. In some cases, there's no problem. I mean, but I was just reviewing a plan for some people who I actually know a little bit in my community, and they asked me to take a look at it. And I knew about one of their children who was my kid's age, but I didn't know about their other children. It turned out that the husband did have a child from a previous relationship, and that in their plan they were not going to give that child anything. And they said in the plan they did it because they figured she was going to be adequately taken care of by her mother. But that's a solution, but at least they addressed it and they thought about it. It might not be the solution everybody would want. We also spent the weekend with a family, friends of my daughter's, where the parents are divorced. But I think they're going to take care of everybody equally, because we ended up seeing both parents at this event together. So they're, at least at this point, amicably divorced. I don't know what happened in the past. So hopefully that'll all work out. But every situation is different.
Right. So even though it's more complicated, some of the basic blocking and tackling of estate planning needs to be done, whether it's a will, beneficiary designations, healthcare proxies, et cetera, right? It's sort of like just checking off the things that you would have if you were just part of a traditional family, but it just maybe requires a little bit more due diligence and a little more thought, given all the strings that are being pulled.
Right. And I think it's more likely that you're going to want to use a trust, because if you have a partner who's not the parent of your children, you may want to leave them something, but you might not want to leave it to them outright. You may want to leave it to them in trust so that it's used if they need it, and then it passes to your children. Or you may not give them everything. You may split things 50-50 rather than everything going to your spouse. You may say half goes to my spouse and half goes to my kids. So I think it'll be often different results based on the unique situation.
Yeah. And then in terms of like finding an estate planner who you can work with this, is it important that they have experience with your kind of situation by chance, that you're a same-sex
I
couple
think
and one family?
I think in most cases, estate planners do see all sorts of different situations. So I think any good estate planner, especially the more experienced they are, the more likely they'll see your situation and will be able to find a solution with you that works.
Yeah. Harry, I think we've given folks a good introduction to this series that we're going to create for folks around estate planning for the modern family. Anything we missed?
Well, we will have a lot more to develop, but I think the main points are to think about what you would want and to talk it over with your partner if you have a partner, and then take steps to implement it.